Hey guys, it's my first YouTube video, so bear with me if I say a lot of ums and if I make a lot of mistakes. But what I'm trying to do here is to explain the difference between mining city and just regular mining and what the differences are. And I'm assuming you're probably watching Bitcoin explode like I am and wondering how can I get in on all of this and how can I make money. Um, I'm looking to try to make some money off of Bitcoin mining, and it seems to be going half decent so far. I've gotten kind of a little bit further down in the price point of Bitcoin, so I'm hoping to make some profits over time. So basically, today, Mining City is an option that I would really heavily consider for my friends if you are a novice and you wanted to get in on the mining game and you wanted to make profits off of Bitcoin mining and you didn't really want to have any maintenance or monitoring your machines because this pretty much is all inclusive of all of that. So I'm going to walk through the Mining City website because I think right now if you go to Mining City, you're not really going to see anything unless you actually log in and you're referred. And you can use my referral name, of course. It's JMA289. If you sign up, use my referral. Once you get in and you purchase a plan, you can actually start seeing all of the stuff that I'll show you today. But I think if you just look at Mining City as a whole and you try to read all the things that are going on in it, I don't think it necessarily does a good job of explaining itself. So this is what the YouTube video is really for. So let's go through Mining City, and then I'll compare it to casual mining, well, actual mining with machines hosted elsewhere, and kind of look at the returns, and you can kind of judge for yourself what option might be best for you if you really, really want to get into mining. I think it takes a certain personality, honestly, and if you don't have that personality, maybe you should just turn off my YouTube video. So let's start out with the dashboard here at Mining City. You're gonna see this clock ticking every time you're in here. It counts down every 24 hours, and effectively what it's doing is after the 24-hour clock ends, that's the end of a mining day, and about 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to see a deposit into your wallet. And here's my current wallet, which is a whopping $15.70. And as you can see, Bitcoin's exploding. They do the calculation for you based on U.S. dollars. If obviously I'm a U.S. citizen, so they're showing U.S. dollars here. I have a whopping $15, so I think I'll retire now. My rank is citizen. I'll try to go into all of that by clicking through the website. It's basically based off of referrals. So the more people you refer and the more people that refer off of that, the more higher rank you get, and I guess the more Bitcoin rewards you get. I currently have one person that I've referred, so I haven't really reaped the benefits of that yet. I'm hoping this YouTube video kind of gets my name out there and maybe I can get some more people. And I'll walk you through all of the achievements and kind of what you can get if you do refer a lot of people. And here's the plan options. So the website, I think, does an okay job of showing this as well, but I wanted to break this down for you to kind of show you exactly what goes on. So $500 is your base standard plan. You get 1,100 days of mining guaranteed. The contract period is 1,100 days as well, and the contract doesn't start until basically 10 days after purchase. So on your 11th day, you're mining and you're making money, which is pretty awesome, and I think is unprecedented compared to if you were to try to go through a different company and maybe like a BitDeer, or I'll show you Bit49. Those guys, it's going to take a little while for your machines to get up and running. So 11 days and seeing your first deposit, I think, is pretty amazing, just because there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in the background in order to get your machines up and online. And so the equipment that they use is S9s. A typical S9 is going to get you between 13.5 terahash to probably about 16 terahash, depending on the firmware mods that are on the machine. I run Bit49 machines and I get almost 16 terahash. I don't get 16 terahash realized, but I get about 16 terahash per S9. And so you can see that this plan hash rate's a little bit less than what a one single S9 would get you. The service cost is actually probably one of the cheapest I've ever seen at 4.7 cents per terahash for kilowatt hours. So per kilowatt hours, I'd say 4 to 4.5 cents is probably going to be the lowest I've seen. I have Bit49 machines and they run in Russia and they're, I believe, like 4.5 cents per kilowatt hour. So very comparable to what I've seen at other competitors. BitDeer is terrible because they're going to add on some maintenance fees and crap like that every day, which just isn't really worth your time. So I think that these two solutions are probably, the actual mining solution of Bit49 and miningcity are probably good to be comparing because they're probably the best of both worlds, I would say. This is the no maintenance, and then the Bit49 would be, well, I don't want to say a lot of maintenance, but it requires monitoring. I'm just here to kind of tell you the facts. So once you've picked your plan, you can actually, what's cool is you can buy a whole bunch of these plans over and over again. So if you want to buy, 10 times gold, you can. That'll get you 700 terahash, which is awesome. It's also going to cost you $35,000. So if you got the money, you got it, which is awesome. And you'll start bringing in a lot of Bitcoin. Okay, so those are pretty much your plans. And now I'm hoping that I can kind of get through each of these items down the list because this list doesn't get created until you actually purchase a plan. And once you purchase a plan, you actually can see all these things and you can kind of break down the different areas. And I'm hoping to give you guys a little bit of insight because otherwise it just seems like this beautiful utopia of a website and you have no idea what actually is happening. So this part of the website lets you see the payment history. And as you can see today, I actually bought in on a standard plan. So I bought another 10 terahash. I originally purchased a gold, which got me 70. Bronze, I believe, got me 20. And then I bought a whole bunch of standards. So that's 70, 90, 100, 120. So I now have 120 terahash here. And I'm going to be looking to kind of build over time. And that's kind of the genius of all this is you can kind of build over time. And I'll talk about the citizens list a little bit later. That's where the referrals kick in. The nifty part I think about miningcity is that you can repurchase shares, and the repurchase of the shares actually is in fractions of shares, which I think is something that they should really do a better job of explaining on the website. So currently I have 100% of my plan, or all of my plans, which is actually 4 shares. Once it accrues enough Bitcoin each day, it's purchasing a fraction of a share. And so once it activates a fraction of a share, I basically gave myself a brand new 1100 day contract and it expires after 1100 days. And all that was for me just basically reinvesting my Bitcoin. So you can kind of see here, what I'm doing at the 10 terahash level. And they obviously have, here are the other plans as well, the shares that I own. And, I'm going to start accruing hopefully enough Bitcoin where I'll get 2.01 share out of the bronze. And same thing with this silver, or yeah, I think it is the silver plan. Uh, so so that's kind of the overview of that. They have a nice little history log of all the different repurchases that I made every day, so you can kind of see all of that and the money that I made. And I'll break down how much money you can potentially make. I think that's the other thing that's very confusing is you're paying $500 for 10 terahash, but what kind of return on investment do I get? And I don't think that they do a very good job of really figuring that out. So I'm going to do that for you in this video. Okay, so Citizens Tree is part of the whole Citizens list. My team's is part of that as well. My plans, I believe, is just an outline of all the different plans that I own. Yep, it's nothing special. It just kind of shows when it starts and when it ends. So when you buy it, as you can see, I bought today, which actually it's the 19th here in the US, but it's the 20th over there. I have to wait 10 days for it to start, and you'll basically they do the math for you. So that's about it for my plans. My wallet's just a method for you to see kind of what's going on with your wallet. I think you can set up the wallet that you want to withdraw to. I've actually done a withdrawal already to my Coinbase wallet. The transaction fees are pretty minor when you withdraw, and it's fairly quick. I think it took about 12 to 24 hours. Actually, it definitely wasn't 24 hours. It's probably about 12 hours for Coinbase to get the deposit. So they don't necessarily, the withdrawal doesn't go out of the account here immediately. I think it takes a little bit of time, but it's not like an obnoxious amount of time for you to get the money that you deserve. So it is what it is, right? Okay, so marketing plan. And here's where I think it actually outlines all the different things. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's the important part. So I'm a citizen and I have 0 people that I've sponsored, or I think I've sponsored 1 so far. Here's all the qualification details. I don't think that the website actually outlines this. So this is something to maybe take a screenshot of or take a look at if you can. But if you have people that you can refer out, you can start making some big time bucks. If $10,000 are in 5 different, so if I refer 5 people and they've purchased $10,000 worth of plans, I become a city builder. And I think there's actually, yeah, so here you go. City builders can make up to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. I don't really know. I'm a little confused about all of this, honestly, because I don't have any referrals. But I would really hope that. Okay, so you can see kind of all the different payouts here for binary matches, which I have no idea what it's for, but this actually does a pretty good job of explaining all the different incentives. Hey, if I start getting a whole bunch of referrals, then maybe I'll actually pay attention to this website and this part of the website. But as of right now, I'm not really privy to what's going on because I haven't really seen the benefits of actually referring people. But I think this is one thing to kind of keep in mind is if you have a whole bunch of friends and they can continue to kind of buy in off of your referral, you could make some buco bucks. So just keep that in mind as you are watching this video. I think that's basically it for miningcity. So the positives about miningcity really is that you're buying a plan for 1,100 days of mining guaranteed. They have a data center in Kazakhstan. They have negotiated cheap electricity. The electricity is pretty comparable to what I've seen at other places. The Bitcoin payout is basically your profits, so it's already subtracting the electricity costs. I've done the math on the payouts, and yes, it definitely seems legit. These calculators are fairly decent. If you're trying to look at a cryptocompare.com calculator, it's going to be very close to what I've seen actually happen in my payouts per day. So it is fairly legitimate. And and just so you know, it's probably about 3.5 times your investment right now. So if you invest $500, you're probably going to get about $1,500 of Bitcoin back in those 1,100 days. And, that's, I think, half decent. And obviously, that's based off the price of Bitcoin. If it skyrockets even more, you're going to be making even more money. If it goes down, your profits are going to go down. But I would still think that you're going to make a return on that investment, period. Um, and so maybe I can show you my spreadsheet a little bit later. But so let's go into the actual hardware running. Um, so I think I've talked to you about all the positives of these plans. The only negative is that you don't have your machines. The other positive is that, or the last positive that I would probably really like to focus on for the novices out there, is you don't have to monitor it. You just have to monitor your account once every day, or you could look at it once every week, and you can see the accrual of Bitcoin just adding up. I think the repurchase plan is pretty nifty because you can, buy fractions of shares, and so you're kind of buying in on, you're kind of compounding interest, if you will, on top of the Bitcoin that you've already made, which I think is pretty cool. And then obviously the referrals, I think, is another big thing, which you don't typically get with casual mining and actual like physical mining. So let's talk about physical mining and if it's for you. So here I have the Bit49 website. These guys, I think, are pretty awesome. They're very, very, very legitimate. I've been working with them for years. I ended up buying a GPU miner originally a couple years back with them, and I've kind of stayed in touch, and they've kind of built a pretty decent sized business over time. And they started with S9 hosting probably in, I'm going to say, November of last year, and they found great deals. I think they were actually working directly with Bitmain to get good prices on S9s. And this website is where you can purchase some plans for actual Bitcoin miners. They do 12-month deals basically, and the machines are now starting to get a little pricey. But when I first purchased, they were about $135, and now they've kind of skyrocketed because of the price of Bitcoin, which it is what it is, right? So here you can buy basically a month-to-month plan, which I think is silly to do anything prepaid, because when you do prepaid, you're paying a whole bunch of money up front. But if you do month-to-month, you can actually buy more physical units that way. So you can buy one S9. It's going to get you 16 terahash compared to 10 over at miningcity. But the problem is that it'll cost you $450, and then you have to do a first and last month's deposit, which on my little spreadsheet here is $109 deposit. So you're looking at, $550-ish, which is going to cost you some money. So where do I start? So you now have your options of what you can do here. I probably would just ignore these two other options. I would go month to month, and I would buy, I think they have a minimum of 10 units that you have to buy at a time. So you're looking at a pretty big investment. Let's see here. I think it's 10. So yeah, you're looking at $5,600 to get in on physical mining. But as you can see, which is pretty cool, they have pictures of their Russia facility. Everything's hosted and managed in Russia. Um, the the cost is $54.50 a month in electricity, and they try to do some calculations, things like that, which is kind of cool. Um, I think they have a discrepancy here where they're saying that it's 56.50, but in reality it's actually 54.50, or at least on the previous page it says 54.50. Um, but basically, they get the machines up and running. It takes approximately 4 to 8 weeks, depending on kind of when you buy. Honestly, um, I've had some problems with them getting machines up, so I'm going to say 4 to 8 weeks. I think the website says 4 to 6 weeks. If they get your machines up within 4 to 6 weeks, that's awesome. But yeah, they basically get your machines up and running, and then here's obviously the largest mining pool in the world. And what you can see is, I have 50 machines that I'm running in Russia with them. You can see my real time hash rate that I'm getting, which actually is amazing. And 24 hours, I'm pulling about 759 terahash. You can kind of see all of my earnings. The earnings actually just rolled over at 5 o'clock today. So I pulled in 0.0266. I actually have a calculator. I'll kind of explain a little bit further, but this is pretty much, what it looks like. You can see the hash rate on a chart, and they have a little nifty calculator down here, so I can do a quick calculation of what I'm pulling. 759. I should pull about 240 bucks today. And in electricity, it cost me about $83.33 based on my current plans, which I think are $53 per unit instead of $54.50. I'll try to show you some of my math a little bit later, but I had a pretty decent day today, which is awesome doing mining. The problem with this is that you have to monitor your machines, and it takes a lot of effort. And I'm spending quite a bit of time out of my day to make sure that these machines are running smoothly. If they have issues, I have to send a ticket out for support, all that fun stuff. With Mining City, you just sit back and collect the money. And you don't have to worry about any of that crap, and you don't have to worry about monitoring and all that other fun stuff. So I would say if you're not the monitoring type and you kind of want to collect money and just let it do its thing and not have to worry about whether your miner is up or down, I think Mining City's the way to go. And let's go into my little Excel spreadsheet that I created fairly quickly, just kind of comparing the two. I would probably recommend freeze framing and taking a screenshot of this if you want to take a look at this a little bit deeper. But basically, I've outlined that I have 50 units at bit 49. I'm running an S9. The monthly cost per unit is actually $53 for me, and I'm paying about $26.50 a month in electricity. However, my returns are about $7,200. I hope I updated that. Yeah, I think it's based off of the current BTC.com calculator. So I'm returning about $7,250 a month in Bitcoin, and then my profit after subtracting the monthly cost is almost $4,600 US. Don't ask me how much the original investment was. It was a fair amount. The original investment was, I think, about $135 per machine, $67.50 plus, I think it was another almost $100 per machine. So yeah, about $11,000, I'd say, ish, for the original investment. and now I'm returning almost 4,600. So yeah, you're looking at a 3 month ROI, which is pretty awesome. Um, I'm making about $55,000 off of a $11,000 investment a year, which, I obviously you can't get that kind of deal anymore on Bit 49. I got them at 135, and now they're $450. But basically, profit and loss per year, or profit and loss per terahash, um, which I think is intended to list out a year, is $73. So I'm in a year's time, I'm returning $73.08. I did the same exact calculation for Mining City, and I'm getting $69.58 in returns over here per terahash at Mining City. Um, as you can see, fairly comparable, and the price to get in is actually a little bit probably more per terahash, but it's definitely less of an overall investment. Like I outlined before, you're looking at a pretty decent chunk of money for 10 machines, and of course the shopping cart took a dump. But yeah, you're looking at a pretty hefty amount of money. 5 grand. If you do 5 grand here, you're obviously hashing a lot less. You're getting about 100 terahash, um, compared to about 160 terahash, but you're also not you don't have to monitor anything. Obviously, the 16 terahash is a lot less in terahash when in real life. I should be pulling about 800, but in reality, I'm getting about 755. So you have the nuances of running machines, and obviously it's trying to get shares for you. So you're not going to return 16 terahash exactly. 10 terahash, you're getting that amount, and you're getting payouts for that amount. So there's definitely some good positives about Mining City, and doing Mining City, I think, is a lot easier in the long run if you're not the type of monitoring person like I was saying before. So here I did just a quick ROI on each of these items. Um, if you buy one unit from Bit 49 in a year's time, you're going to return about $1,100. Mining City, you're going to return about $727. So if you buy a $500 plan, you're going to return about $727 in Bitcoin in today's dollars, back. So your ROI is what I'm going to say under it's under 12 months, obviously. So maybe 10 months, you get your return on investment. And obviously over here, $1,100 you're returning in a year, and you're only paying $450 for the hardware. You're looking at maybe a 6 month ROI. So obviously, 6 months versus 10 months, but you're also not doing any maintenance whatsoever. You don't have to monitor at all. And basically you're getting your investment back. So yeah, it might take a little bit of time to get your investment back, but I think really what it comes down to is all the referrals. So with all of that being said, hopefully I tried to explain Mining City a little bit better for you guys. Hopefully I explained kind of the return on investment and all that other stuff. I'm obviously interested in hearing more about what you guys think and whether it's a good deal or not. I'm in it, so I have to deal with it for the next 1,100 days, whether it's good or bad. But I fully expect Bitcoin to continue to explode in price, and I'm hoping to get some referrals through this YouTube video, which I might not at all. And I just really think that it's not a bad long-term passive income investment quite honestly, because if I pay $500 and get $700 back in a year's time, and I have another 2 years on top of that, well, is it 2 years? 1,100 days. Yeah, it's about 3 years. So, if I've made my money back after a year, and I have 2 years of just getting free profits based off of that initial $500 investment, I'm cool with that. Um, and if Bitcoin continues to explode, I'll be making even more money off of my initial investment. So that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully, I explained things, and happy mining.